What's a job that is so hyped up but in reality it's absolutely trash? Chef. Source, Chef. Cooking gets glamorized a lot. People who are good at or interested in cooking are told they should pursue it professionally. Celebrity chefs make it look like big money rock star stuff. The reality is very long days with very low pay even for very high-end skill sets. I'm not sure if this is hyped up anymore, but being a veterinarian freaking sucks. Zookeeper. You need a degree but get paid around $14 per hour, so someone has to be financially supporting you or you won't be able to pay all your bills. It's also shoveling shit all day outside in any weather, and the workload is literally so heavy to the point your body will start breaking down even in your 20s. You also spend so much time cleaning that there's barely any time spent enjoying, playing, or enrichment time for the animals you take care of. The staff are all animal people like yourself, and probably don't get along with people as much, which leads to staff not getting along at all. Dealing with visitors can be a nightmare as parents don't want to watch their children as they run around banging on enclosure glass. Adults do this too, trying to get animals to move or react, which is so disrespectful and cruel to the animal who is in their home. I would argue the burnout for zookeeping is one of the fastest for career paths out there. It will break your wallet, your body, and your mental health. Any job that requires frequent international travel. It's fun and sexy at first, very boring and tiresome after a while. Anything film industry. 12 hours days, zero job security, ego/hubris/narcissism, no personal life. Source, I've made poor life decisions. 18 years in, I'm 44, little late to start a new career, but here I am. So what I'm getting from this thread is every job sucks and I should instead move to the mountains and self-sustainably tent camp for the rest of my life. Video game QA tester. Some people think it's a party where you just play video games all day. But QA is regularly shit on by the rest of the teams, and the monotonous and repetitive test plans and compliance checks can absolutely rip the fun of video games right out of you. Social worker, kidding. Everyone knows my job sucks. Well, this was depressing as fuck to open at 3 a.m. haha. Brewer, crippling work, shitty pay, and inevitable alcoholism. Controversial opinion, but I think surgeon. I dated one and he had all kinds of issues and stress, and all of his surgeon friends were equally messed up. They were extraordinarily gifted people, but I think treating people like cars in the shop can affect your brain a bit. The pressure must be intense. These kinds of comment threads destroyed my mental health in my early 20s and convinced me not to pursue a lot of my passions. If you're reading this and you feel drawn to a career mentioned here, fucking go for it. Reddit has a major negativity bias. Flight attendant is definitely glorified a lot. Yes, you get to travel, but the pay is bad, hours are tough, and you need to deal with cranky people. Graphic design. Overworked, underpaid, misunderstood, majorly undervalued. Anyone with Canva thinks they can do your job. As a creative person, having to sling creativity on demand like a waitress at a diner burns you out so quickly. All jobs. Let's be real. Not a job, but starting your own business. Everyone says you're your own boss and you handle your own time, when the truth is you'll work more than you ever did for someone else. And every problem is your problem. Then also end up earning less anyway. The odds are stacked against you because most of the time, there's a bigger business with lower prices but better margins since they have capital. So it ends up that most people who start small businesses oftentimes still work elsewhere to actually support their business because it's hard to compete. Banking. Banking system was hyped. Back in my high school I always thought once I'm done with schooling as a banking and finance graduate, they'll probably become a millionaire immediately. Former film actor here. It has some good parts, but it's also a lot of long days and nights, travel, hanging around, and repetitive takes. Worse is the impact on your self-esteem. You will learn to view yourself as a product, and to compete with other human beings who also see themselves as products. You'll get used to being told that it doesn't matter what you can do so much as whether you look right while doing it. It's dehumanizing, especially if you are a young person and especially if you are a young woman. Physician, specifically primary care in the USA. Yes, it pays well. But you sacrifice your 20s doing a ton of school, missing events, and racking up $500K of debt. And then you finally become an attending only to realize you can't do your job well because insurance companies are constantly fighting you to not pay for things that would make patients healthier because their bottom line depends on it. It makes you lose faith in humanity because the system is so fucked. A lot of your time gets drained into calls for pre-authorizations with insurance companies that are only productive a minority of the time, and have to be done on unpaid time. Also, you'll have plenty of patients who just need to stop smoking, stop drinking, and eat healthier. And they won't. Anything with sales. They always talk about how much money you can make. In reality, it's a lot of pressure and not that much. Video game QA, calling it trash is overblown. But it's not as awesome and fun and people think it is. And they get a ton of the blame when bugs are found in a live game, when most of the time they did find the bugs but someone way above them decided not to fix it. They work their asses off and get paid very little. Paramedics. Lawyers. I'll be the first commenter to mention an actually hyped up job, construction trades. Everyone says don't go to college, go into the trades these days. The pay is overhyped. Yes, you can make six figures if you put in a fuck ton of hours, but wouldn't you rather work less for more money? And you run the risk of absolutely destroying your body by the time you're 40. A lot of old heads I've talked to, and even some younger dudes, said it wasn't worth it. Pharmacist. Porn star. Guys think oh you get paid to bang all these chicks. They don't understand how fucking awful it actually is. Uklonina. Engineering. Now first thing is that the working conditions for engineers is actually pretty good, and I think it's in many ways better than other professional jobs. So why is it here? It's a question of unmet expectations. Most engineers study engineering because they enjoy mathematics and problem solving, and generally tinkering with things. Unfortunately, most engineering jobs require no day-to-day maths at all. I might have needed to do something more complicated than calculus twice in 10 years. Instead, you spend all your time filling out paperwork and attending tedious meetings. Then, you end up getting pigeonholed in a specific niche and it becomes nearly impossible to move outside that niche. So you can end up spending 30 years just designing office building ventilation and nothing else. A lot of engineers dream of designing planes, boats or robots, but instead spend every week filling out TPS reports. Uklonina. Librarian. No, we do not get to sit around and read all day. We deal with the shitty public. Low wages and understaffing. Dealing with the idiots challenging books who can't even fucking read in the first place. Bookstore retail is hell. Being an architect. You are overworked, underpaid. Scrolling through this makes me depressed. Seems like all the jobs out there sucks and most of the time the reason is low pay and long hours. Why can't we as humanity fix this problem and give people decent pay for 35 hours a week of work? Scientist. The research part is great. But as an applied researcher for a government agency, you also spend so much time justifying why what you do is important to decision makers who decide your fate but aren't themselves scientists. Registered nurse. Been doing it for 12 years now. If I could do anything else for the money I make now I would, but I can't. So, I'm sort of stuck. Drug dealer. What you imagine, Walter White, or some baller with a bunch of chains, and a really expensive SUV. The reality, you live in a mostly abandoned trailer park, all your friends are fake and constantly ask for free drugs, you're probably addicted to something yourself, and you have to deal with insane drug addicts for a living. I used to be an addict and that isn't ideal. All for the same amount of money the average waiter at a busy restaurant makes. Psychologist. The movies make a lot of people think it's cool and want to do it. The reality is that most people want their life or problems to be different but don't actually want to do the work to change, so most of the time it's a waste of time talking to difficult people. The ones who are actually enjoyable to work with are serious and do the hard work to change, so you don't get to work with them very long because they get better. Reporters, at least in some media companies. Nurse. A lot of disrespect and abuse. Being an artist. It's not glamorous. People constantly try to bargain prices or say things like my toddler could. Lots of status hogs and starfuckers. It's a grind. People take advantage of new artists a lot. Burnout is real. Digital marketing is a madness-inducing job. Lots of not hyped up jobs being posted here. The military. And I say that as someone who's served 20 plus years. Bartending. Lamau. Management. Even worse, middle management. Even if you are blessed with good employees, it's just a grind. Always worrying about people's attitudes and putting out fires. I went back to an individual contributor role and if offered, I wouldn't accept a promotion to run a team for more money.